Good afternoon, folks. Listen, look at this. I've got my goat shirt on, and that can only mean good news, okay? Good news to report this afternoon. And this is courtesy of Chloe Peterson, who writes for the IndyStar, that Caitlin Clark was on the court during team shoot-around today prior to the Lynx game. Now, she is not playing in tonight's game. Neither is Chloe Bibby, and we will talk about that afterwards. But the fact that Caitlin Clark is out there during team shoot-around in a basketball uniform is certainly a very positive sign. It is a precursor to her returning to full contact practice with the team. And Stephanie White has said repeatedly, when you see her back in practice, you'll know she's on her way back onto the basketball court in a game situation. It has been a long time since we've seen Caitlin Clark on the court. And I am honestly chomping at the bit for that day. Okay. I am one of those people who do not want to see her just decide to sit out the season. Okay. Sorry. That's not Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark is well enough to get back on a basketball court, she's going to play basketball. She's a professional. Okay. So I got some video to show you. Bear with me. Whoever's car is out there beeping, and it is not mine. Take a look at this. Right there. So this is all. Nothing but good news. Nothing but good news for Caitlin Clark and Fever fans. Okay? I only see this as being great news for all of the WNBA, and particularly for Caitlin Clark fans and for Fever basketball. Now, just a quick update on injuries. Chloe Bibby will be out for tonight's game. So don't really know what's going on with that knee, but something's going on with that knee. And it looks like Odyssey Sims is listed as probable for tonight's game. So what was, I believe, to be a previous diagnosis of a groin pull apparently is not what happened to Odyssey Sims if she's listed as probable. So that's good news too. Now, I know we were going to do a little story on how Caitlin Clark has inspired young girls and boys across the nation to play basketball. But we're putting that one on hold for a minute because there are some people out there suggesting that the Indiana Fever should tank the rest of the season so they can get our femme Thiam in the draft. Now, for those of you who don't know who she is a 19-year-old, 6'4" center who plays for Valencia Basket in the Spanish Basketball League. And she is actually projected to go in the top 5, but more people are projecting her as a #1 pick. So let me explain to you where we are right now in the draft, okay? We are currently picking in the first round at number 10. These are the teams that are ahead of us. Number 1, Dallas. If the season ended today, okay, there could be some more jockeying. We don't know yet. Number 1 is Dallas. Number 2, Minnesota. Number 3, Seattle. Number 4, Washington. Number 5, Chicago. Number 6, Toronto, expansion team. Number 7, Portland, expansion team. Number 8, Golden State. Number 9, Washington again. Number 10, Indiana Fever. And number 11, Washington again. Now, some of these teams are in here because they made deals. They traded last year's pick to get higher up in this year's pick, okay? So that's why some of these teams who would not normally be here are here. Now, the way the WNBA draft works is different than the NBA. It's not just based on one losing season. The position in the draft is determined by your cumulative record over the previous 2 seasons, which means this season, 2025 plus 2024. So we have 8 games left. The Indiana Fever has 8 games left, 5 away, 3 at home. We have to win 4 of those 8 games to qualify for the playoffs. We have to have a 500 record or better. We are 19-17. We have to win 4 of these games. So say we decided to just cash it in and lose all 8 games. If we lose all 8 games, our record would be 19-25. Last year we were 20-20. So that would give us a cumulative record over 2 years of 39-45. We ain't getting our fam in the draft, okay? We're not. And I actually find this repugnant, a repugnant thought that a team would throw an opportunity to get a draft pick that, you know, may or may not work out. Okay, it's almost as bad as betting on your own team. Now, we also have a 2nd round pick at number 25. Okay, and why do you think the WNBA uses a 2-year cumulative ranking of wins and losses to determine your draft position? It is to prevent teams from tanking to get a higher position. That's why they set it up that way. So, in my mind, the thought of even doing that is unacceptable, okay? I don't care how many injuries we have or whether or not we get out of the 1st round, even into the 2nd round or whatever. I don't care about any of that. You are in the hunt right now, okay? To suggest that this team that has worked hard, whether you like it or not, has worked hard to keep itself alive in this, should just stop playing and let the game slip away so that they could get a higher draft pick, to me is just no. Nope, 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 nope. That's a non-starter, okay? So one other thing I want to talk about that we're going to talk about in more depth at some point is this notion that Paige Beck is a better rookie than Caitlin Clark was. Let me explain something to you. The 20-20 record from last season may not seem like a great thing, but they got there and they got into the playoffs on the back of Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever had a massive turnaround from the previous year with Caitlin Clark in the lineup. And that cannot cannot be overstated, and it cannot be denied. It cannot be denied. That was their first time in the playoffs in 8 years, since 2016. And it was Caitlin Clark who made that possible. And the only reason she didn't go further, or they didn't go further as a team, was that Caitlin Clark was exhausted. She was exhausted from the fact that she came out of college hoops, had very little time off, and went right into the pros. And even with all that adjustment and all of what it took, she got them into the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. They rode her back in the second half of the season. There is no denying any of that. Christy Sides decided in the second half to throw caution to the wind and allow Caitlin Clark to run the ball club was the smartest thing she ever did. When people ask me why I think she should have been allowed to continue for her last season, I'm looking at Stephanie White and I'm telling you why she should have been allowed to continue in her last season. Her statement when she got fired was, leave the team better than the way you got it. And she certainly did that. Now, we are here, and we are in the playoff hunt, in spite of all the injuries, and we have now got the prospect of Caitlin Clark coming back before the end of the season. This is on par with what Stephanie White said when she said that she would like to see Caitlin Clark back in full practice around the 26th. It is now the 24th. Let's see what happens from here. But the Indiana Fever are not dead, and the Indiana Fever should not tank the season to try to get a draft pick that is not even guaranteed. That kind of stuff to me is unprofessional. And if we want real credibility here, we have to act credible. So that's where I am right now. I will be back after the game with another video. We'll see how things go tonight. And I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Game at 7. I had it wrong early when I said 2 o'clock because I actually think AI, which I think sucks, quite frankly. Pardon my language, but it does. Picked up a previous game. Because when I actually went and looked at the real deal, it's 7 o'clock. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. And I appreciate all of you responding to what you would do with the Fever next year. And I'm still looking at that. In fact, I'm heading back there now. Later.